Hello everyone and welcome to Carnival Week. This week we'll be teaching you how to play carnival games. The very first step in our beanbag toss tutorial is to teach you how to make your very own game using household items. This includes scrap fabric or old rags, as well as beans you have lying around the house, or you can substitute that for rice. You'll need scissors, some thread, a needle, and some pins. To begin, we are going to take our fabric and fold it over. We are then going to take our scissors and cut out a square shape. To cut down on sewing time, I folded the two in half so that we would have an already finished edge. Then we are going to take our pins and pin all of the sides that are not sewn up yet. We're going to make sure to leave a hole so that we can put our beans or rice in. Then, we are going to take our needle and thread and sew up the sides. I used a simple straight stitch in order to accomplish this. If you don't consider yourself much of a sewer, you can find alternatives like gluing the ends shut. As far as sewing techniques go, I then trimmed the corners so that I had a less bulkier edge when flipping the fabric inside out. Using the hole that I left unsewed, we then flipped the fabric inside out. Then it's time to fill our beanbag with whatever we decided to fill it with, be it beans or rice. In my case, I'm using rice. You want to fill the beanbag pretty substantially, but leave some space so that our beanbag is still squishy. Then we are going to pin all of the sides down, tucking in the fabric where we left the hole. It's important that we do a top stitch so that the beans or rice stay in place. We are going to go around all four sides to do this very thing. This will make it so our beanbags have a more finished look and are more secure when we toss them around. This is, however, an optional step. Repeat this step so you have at least 2 more beanbags. You can of course make plenty more beanbags so that your trip to the board is less frequent. Depending on which rules of the game you also go with, knocking other people's beanbags off of the board is possible, so more beanbags, the better. Moving on to our board, we can use so many simple things around the house to create a fun and exciting carnival game. Here, I'm just using some cardboard I had lying around the house, cutting out a rectangle shape twice so that I can reinforce my cardboard board. I then cut out 2 strips that I will later turn into triangles as our stand to prop up our board. Our next step is to grab a circular object that we have in the house that we can trace to make 3 circles of the same width. Measure them equal distance apart and then cut them out with your X-Acto knife. If you aren't old enough to do that yet, ask an adult to help you. Our board is finally coming together. Our next step is going to be folding up those strips of cardboard that I told you about to make our stand. With that in place, the next thing we need to do is decorate. So let's paint. Grab your favorite color of paint or a color that you think will stand out and begin to apply it to your cardboard. You might need to do a couple of coats if your paint is a lighter color. Next, we will paint our 3 different targets. I went with a color schematic, making blue, red, and green different values in terms of point system. You can add numbers or a variation of different ways to count points. You can also spend far more time decorating the board with flowers or scenery, but I just went with this plain look. Now we can glue everything together. We are going to take the top board and glue it to the other board that we cut out so that it is strengthened. We are then going to take those strips of cardboard that we made into triangles, glue them together, and glue them on the bottom of our board. This is another step that you do not have to take, but I thought would help reinforce my board in some way. I grabbed packing tape and taped up the edges of my board. And there you have it, your homemade beanbag toss game. Stay tuned for a tutorial on how to play the game.